Hi there, this is Teri from Stamping Magic. Welcome back to my channel. I have a really cute fancy fold card to share with you today, and this is a double trifold card. On the back is a panel where you can write your message. I've used some of the Let It Snow papers, and the 3 snowmen in the middle were actually cut from the paper. The other images come from the Snowman season stamp set. I created this lovely belly band to keep the card closed. So let's get started. These are all the measurements you need for the various elements required to create this project. So if you're interested in reproducing it, you can take a screenshot and refer to it later. There's just a little cutting to do to start off with. Now you want to line your cardstock up at 1 inch on the side edge. Now I'm going to use my right hand edge because if I use the left hand edge, the bulk of the cardstock won't be supported underneath and it could move. So it's easier if I line up the right hand edge at 1 inch. I'm going to position the blade at 1 inch and I'm going to cut from there to 5 inches, and then I'm going to lift the blade, position it again at 7 inches and cut down to 11 inches. So I'm cutting from 1 inch to 5 inch first of all. Then I'm going to lift my blade and position it again at 7 inches. Make sure my right hand edge is still lined up at the 1 inch mark. And then I'm going to cut from 7 inches to 11 inches. Then I'm going to turn my cardstock around so the opposite short side is across the top, and I'm going to repeat the whole thing. So I'm lining up that right hand edge at 1 inch. I'll position my blade at 1 inch on the vertical ruler, and then I'll cut down to 5 inches. Lift my blade, position it at 7 inches, and then cut down to 11 inches. And that's all the cutting we need to do. There's now a little scoring to be done, so position your card into the scoreboard with the long side across the top and score all the way down at 2 inches, 4 inches, 8 inches and 10 inches. Now we need to do some additional score lines at the start and the end of each cut line, and we're only going to score to the cut line. So you're scoring at 1 inch, 5 inch, 7 inch and 11 inches. Turn your cardstock around and repeat those little scores on the opposite side. Now you would have seen the measurements for all the mats and layers required for this card at the start of this video. Now I've already layered mine up so they're all ready to be stuck onto my card base. I'm going to stick most of them down before I start folding this card. I just find it easier to do it that way. You should have 8 small squares, 6 small rectangles, 2 larger rectangular pieces which are for the inside side panels, and then you've got 2 of the largest panels and they'll go onto the front of the card, and those 2 are positioned after I've done the folding, so that'll be a bit later. Now this can be a tricky card to fold, so just take it slow. I'm starting at one end and I'm going to gently crease the top and bottom panel section first of all. So I started with the mountain and then a valley fold and then a mountain fold again. Okay, then I'm switching to the inner panel, and that also starts with a mountain fold and then a valley fold, and repeat that for the other side. So it's a mountain first of all and then a valley. You don't want to crease all the way, just crease it slightly. And then go to the opposite end of the top and bottom panels, and again it's a mountain, a valley, another mountain, and the last one is a valley. And just gently crease them. And when you've done that, you can take one side and coax it in towards the center. Just again very gently to make sure nothing buckles and you've got everything folded the right way. And then you can ease the other side in towards the center as well. And once it's there, just give it a gentle press down. Then you can take your bone folder and give all the folds a good burnishing, making them nice and crisp. Now the front panels can be added. Now the glue, you can use tape adhesive if you prefer, but I like to use wet glue. The glue just goes on that coastal cabana area that you can see. So don't put it across any of the designer series paper. And then you line your panel up with the top, bottom and side edge of your card, and it should fit exactly. As I said before, the 3 snowmen in the centre were cut from one of the sheets of the Let It Snow Specialty Designer Series paper. I've cut out 2 of these, and I just wanted to show you that the third one can be punched out using our coordinating snowman builder punch. I'm going to do the stamping next, and I'm using the Snowman Season stamp set. I'm using this main snowman image, the hat, the arms, the snowflakes and the Merry Christmas sentiment. I'm starting with the sentiment, and I'm going to stamp this in real red ink. And then I'll cut it out using one of the rectangle stitch dies, one size up from the smallest. I'm using Memento Tuxedo black ink to stamp both the snowman and the extra hat that I'm going to use. And then I'll use soft suede ink to stamp the 4 stick arms. I'm going to use the Stampin' Blends alcohol markers to colour my images, and I'm starting with the dark real red to colour in some of the hat and the scarf. Then the remaining stripes I'm going to use dark Pool Party. We haven't actually got a Coastal Cabana Stampin' Blends marker, so Pool Party is a good match. Then I'm going to switch to dark Pumpkin Pie for the carrot nose. And then I'm going to shade my snowman using the light smoky slate. I'm also going to colour in the rocks using this. Then I'm going to use the colour lifter to blend out the grey on the snowman, and this will just take away any harsh lines. Finally, I'll go round the entire image using my light Pool Party marker, and this really makes it pop. For the little hat, I'm going to start with dark shaded spruce for the leaves, dark real red for the berries, dark Pool Party for the hat band, and then the rest of the hat I'm going to colour using the dark basic black. The hat and the arms can all be punched out using the Snowman Builder Punch. The main image will be cut out using one of the Stitched Shapes dies, the largest oval. I've gone ahead and layered my sentiment onto my real red mat and added dimensionals to the reverse. I've also added the little hat to the snowman that I punched out. Now these two snowmen, when you add the dimensional to the centre part of the body, just put one right in the middle of that section. That way you'll be able to slot the arms in later on when we come to do them. I created a Coastal Cabana mat to go under my image panel, and I used one of the layering ovals framelit dies, the largest scalloped oval. And I also used that to cut out a second Coastal Cabana one, and also one from copy paper that we'll use later on. Now to finish off this image panel, I'm just using my fine tip glue pen to add a glue to that bottom section, and then I'm going to cover it with our ice stamping glitter. I'm also going to use the glitter on the little snowflakes that are falling. I have my Whisper White square mat for the centre panel here, and I'm going to just do a little ink blending on the background. I've used some temporary adhesive to fix it to my silicone mat, and I'm covering the bottom about ½ inch section just with some copy paper. I want to keep that white. And then I'm using my blending brush just to add the colour to the top section. Now I'm using Pool Party ink again. I could use Coastal Cabana, but I wanted something just a little bit paler for the sky. Now I'm happy with the background. I'm going to stamp snowflakes just randomly all over the sky. And then I'm also going to stamp snowflakes on two of the corners on the mat that will go on the back of the card. I've layered both panels onto their real red mats, and then I'm going to add some more ice stamping glitter to the bottom of this little background mat. The panel for the back of the card can now be glued in place. I've laid out my snowmen and sentiment where I want to have them on the card, and now I can set them into place. I can then add glue to the arms and position them onto the snowmen. I just tuck them under that middle section. This panel can then be glued into position. I've already layered the Designer Series paper mat onto my Coastal Cabana mat for the belly band. This can now be scored at 1 3/4 inches, 2 inches, 6 1/8 of an inch, and 6 3/8 of an inch. You can then fold on all the score lines and burnish them with your bone folder. I'm going to add a peg to my card just to keep it shut while I create the belly band for it. Now, when you do create the belly band and glue it down into position, just keep an eye on the sides. You want to make sure that they're nice and square and they're not slanted forward or back. You don't want it to be too tight a fit. Now for the copy paper oval. Now mine's a bit scrunched because I used it on my previous card. But basically all you have to do is fold it in half long ways to get that center line. And then if you want to, you can draw a pencil line down there. I've also added some temporary adhesive onto the front and the back of it. And I'm going to use this to center my oval image panel onto my belly band. So I've positioned the copy paper oval along that seam line at the front of the card, so where the two pieces join. And then that second Coastal Cabana oval I'm just positioning on top. Now I'm going to count from the middle scallop down 7 and just draw a line on each side. So I'm counting that centre scallop as 1 and then I'm counting 7 in total and marking the card. These pencil lines will show me whereabouts the belly band needs to sit on the oval when I glue it down, just so everything is centred. I can then apply glue to the ends of the belly band, and I just did the last sort of 1/4 of an inch or so, and then glue them into position. Again, make sure those sides are nice and square. And then lastly, I can add glue to the image panel and position this over the centre of the belly band, lining it up with the scalloped oval underneath. And that's it, the card is complete. I really like this style of card, I think it's so pretty. And then here's another look at my original one. The colours are reversed for this one. I had real red for my card base and then Coastal Cabana for all the layers. Now these cards will just fit inside the standard envelopes for the UK, but they won't fit in the standard envelopes for the US, I don't think. But rather than squeeze them inside an envelope, it would be a lot nicer to have them gifted in a box. Now my next video will show you how I created this box, and it has reinforced sides on both the lid and the base, so it's nice and sturdy. So I hope you'll join me for that one. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this project. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notifications bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. Bye for now.